Good afternoon. This is Manuel Reta. Is there enough light for you?
Yeah.
Okay. This is Manuel Reta, in part of the founder of the Northwest Washington Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And today we have Simon here. And I'll have him introduce himself to you so that you know who he is. Quiero decir que yo soy el presidente de la Cámara de Comercio del Noroeste de Washington. Y por esa razón estamos hoy en el radio La Voz de Whatcom. Y quiero que ustedes también puedan hacer share para que otra gente también pueda conocer a este joven que está corriendo para un lugar en Olimpia. Y por eso con mucho, me da mucho gusto de estar con él porque ustedes van a comprender, van a escuchar cosas que él tiene para que ustedes sepan qué clase de persona es Simon. In my English friends, I said basically, and I have to in this way to be equal, that what I said in Spanish, I want the Latino population, I want the Punjabis, I want all the voters to take notice of the questions, of the answers that you might have. If you have questions, you put it on the screen here. Go on La Voz de Whatcom on YouTube. Go on YouTube and you'll find the page and everything else, and we can connect or we can chat. So if you have questions, feel free. This might be the last time that you do it on national air. But I'll go ahead and let Simon introduce himself, and keep in mind, I am very fair toward all candidates that come here on the air, and I treat them like a family. And this is the way that I treat Simon. Okay, Simon?
Well, thank you, Manuel. Gracias, me llamo Simon Sefzik. Mi español es muy malo. Lo siento. So I'll be speaking in English because my Spanish is no bueno. But thank you so much for taking the time to have me on the show. I very much appreciate it. I'm your current state senator here in the area, in this part of Whatcom County, and I want to be a voice for the voiceless. I want to listen and learn from everybody. And I think the biggest part of my job, honestly, is listening and learning from all the different communities. And so that's what I want to do, is I want to listen and hear your concerns and be able to be a voice for you in Olympia, when oftentimes you may not, and we may not in this area, feel like we have a voice.
Very good. How old are you, Simon?
I'm 22 years old.
Are you one of the oldest, youngest in the in the history?
Yes, I am. I'm the youngest state senator in the history of Washington State.
Okay.
And so, I've always said before that I think that I view my young age as an asset, as a strength, not as a weakness, because I think it does allow me. I don't come with preconceived notions or biases as much. It allows me to listen and to learn and to understand better. And I think young people can make a difference because,
Exactly.
The decisions that are getting made right now by the older generation oftentimes will affect my generation more than it will affect the generation of the people making many of those decisions.
Yes. And I like to, le voy a hablar en español. Es la edad tiene 22 años. Es el menor de todos los senadores aquí en el estado de Washington. 22 años. Puede ser mi hijo, mi nieto. Yo tengo nietos a esa edad. La cosa que es, como dijo él quiere comenzar con un corazón joven como es, para entender la cultura, para entender los mayores que están en Olimpia, para aprender las cosas que son justas. Porque muchas veces entra uno, and I hope I'm not going to be overdoing it, and I'll go back into English. Muchas veces uno entra a la campaña de ser un senador y entra, y muchas veces los mayores senadores les cambian las ideas, las maneras para cómo pensar, las leyes que tienen que ser. Él va comenzando. Y pienso yo que es buena idea. Viene aquí al radio, Ustedes tienen el poder de escuchar, ustedes tienen el poder de preguntar y de apoyar y orar por él, porque él es el joven. Se va a ganar, él es la persona que va a ser la voz para ustedes. And try to keep it as English as possible, or a minimum. Something that just stood out in his words, that he's young and is able to go to Olympia. And as a young person, he's not tied in with all the crazy rules and regulations of the elderly Republicans. He wants to learn. He wants to listen to the people. And I hope, correct me if I'm that's what I gather already. Because what I do as a minister, a lot of things is spiritual, and I take little things and I try to share it with everybody. The youngest, willing to learn, willing to be your senator, okay? The Latino population, same. They want somebody that will represent him, represent the community, Latino community, or even the Punjabis. The Punjabis and the Hispanics are very, very close in their culture. And people don't realize, but as an ex-commissioner, I was told that the Hispanic population would be a majority. We're up there right now. Now the Punjabis are coming on. The marrying of both Hispanic and Punjabis is going to be majority. So if we have somebody young, somebody that we can help edify for the training for everybody, not just one group, but the entire community as a whole, that we can benefit, that he can lead other young people in the things that he's doing for Washington State, for Whatcom County.
Yeah.
You go ahead and do what you got to do.
Oh, what I was just going to add to that is, I think of, you said you're a minister, our command is to love God and to love our neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I view this job. Is it's a way of service. It's a way of helping people and serving one another, which is why I don't think of myself first as a Republican. I don't think of myself first as a Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
I think of myself as a voice for the people. Okay. And I represent them, and my job is to listen to them and hear from them, regardless of the political party, because we're neighbors.
Yes.
Whatcom County is such a beautiful place. And what I think of the fact is that, even though you and I have different stories, we're neighbors,
yes.
which means we care about each other.
Definitely.
And it means that our futures matter. Mm-hmm. And so that means that if somebody's struggling in Everson, mm-hmm. that matters to me, even if I don't live in Everson. Mm-hmm. If there's a family in Sumas that can't afford to pay the rent, that matters to me, even if I don't live in Sumas. We're all, even though our stories are different, our futures, our destinies are shared. Mm-hmm.
And that is important. Matter of fact, you brought those two items that I was thinking about last night before I went to bed. And that was the flood in Everson, the flood in Sumas, and the people that went through the flood, that one person that lost his life. Mm-hmm. It does matter to us. It matters the safety of all people, not just a Hispanic, but all people, because we all took a hit up in Sumas and everywhere else as far as that goes, because it affected everybody. Mm-hmm. And the presence of somebody coming on board, like Simon, to enable himself to help in the community. I am also a individual that does the same thing, but I reach out more to the Hispanic, more to the low income, things like that. I'm not going to stop. I don't get paid for it, but I am basically an agent of the free will spirit to help my friends, my neighbors, and whoever needs help. It's just like I am raised, that I have to have a forgiving spirit, and that's toward anybody. If somebody has something against me, let's make peace. Let's agree on something. He is going to be going up to Olympia. There's going to be issues that are going to be brought up. So this is the things that he's going to be able to grow and understand and be brave enough to help you, to speak for you, and to decide on what is good for all our community that way. So he's got a long ways to go. If he gets elected, I want you to consider Simon in that matter. Um, it's not going to be easy. Tell me something. Tell me something. I know you've been up in Olympia and so forth. When you go up there, you can pretty well meet and talk to anybody that's there, any Republican, anybody Democrat or Republican. Where have you felt at peace? Or what kind of people have you kind of leaned on or just listened? Can you tell us about your experience without, too much
boring detail?
boring detail? Correct.
Yeah, I've said before that I got appointed to the state senate in January, which means I'm fairly new to all of this. And again, I think that's a good thing because I think we need fresh, young energy. But as a result, I've joked before that it's felt a lot like drinking from a fire hose. The amount of information that you're learning is a lot, and it's intense. And so I relied a lot on different people from Whatcom County because, when you get down in Olympia, you have a lot of people that are all trying to talk into your ear. You know what I mean? You have lobbyists that want to change your mind. You have other politicians that want to change your mind. And you have other government people that want to change your mind. And so every day, I was calling people from Whatcom County and they were calling me or emailing me. And that's what informs my views, is the voice of the people. And because we have to make sure that Whatcom County takes care of the little guy too. That it's not just a place for big government or for big business, but that it takes care of the little guy as well.
So. And it's important because in reality, a lot of times we can, you go up there, you talk the talk, but you notice, you listen, and it's important to follow through, and respect those individuals that are trying to help you because they're trying to help in a way that is very important. But on the other hand, too, you have to have a choice, or you have to agree on who you want to be able to help, or actually the information that you gather from your friends up here north or even in Olympia. You have to be able to listen. What will the person up here in Washington County, how will they receive if the law passes one way or another? Right. Does it fit, or is it too expensive, or is it going to affect the community or different people? I mean, those are the things, like you said, you got all these individuals out there. The same thing when I was a commissioner. I was sending information up here about different school issues.
Right.
But is the superintendent listening? I never got nothing back from them. So with your position, you had the means to connect with the different superintendents, the different leaders in the county here. If something comes up, emailing, call, whatever it may be, that would be something that would benefit you in that manner. So,
well, and that's why I want to be the most accessible state senator that Whatcom County has seen in recent years. And so what that means is if you have a question, I want you to know that you can call me and we can talk about it. If you have a concern, you can email me and we can correspond. If you're wondering about something, you can text me and I'll respond. Because I want to listen to people and learn from them, especially if we may disagree. I want to be a voice for those who have none, and I want to listen well, I want to learn, and I want to lead well. And so I think you're typing in the wrong spot there.
Okay. Well, go ahead and I'll keep.
But
keep
you
doing
know, that's what I want to say is that to those of you who are watching, you know, some of you may have grown up in Whatcom County, some of you may be new to Whatcom County, and there's a lot of people that are in that boat. You know, some of the people here have grown up here for decades, for generations. Some people are new to this area. This is a special place. This is a special county. It's a special land. And I want to make sure that we can keep this as an accessible place that takes care of the little guy, so that we can raise our children here, so that you can raise your children and your children's children here in this area. And so I just think it's very important to represent all the different voices in Whatcom County. And that's why it's been the honor of a lifetime to get to do this. You know, I'm young. I don't think I was not expecting to get to do this, but I think that this has just been the honor of a lifetime to learn from people like you, to learn from other individuals with different life experiences, and say, how can we be a voice for people that feel like you knock at their door and no one shows up, or you try to call somebody and you never hear back from them. Because what people want is somebody that will be a voice for them, fight for them, advocate for them, and show up for them.
Yeah. And that's a very true statement, what he has said. A lot of times people want the money. Hey, how much you pay me to vote? Forget the crazy money, okay? It's the fact that you have somebody that's willing to listen to you, to be an agent, to be a servant, and that can deliver to you the things. And if he can't deliver, look at his track record, and you will see the things that he will be voting on up in Olympia. Then you will say, yes, he is keeping his word. He is a man of his word. And that is what we need a lot more in Olympia. There's too many phonies out there. Too many people are wishy-washy. They do not keep their word. They don't follow through. All they think about is their title sometimes. And you know, in reality, that is not good enough for me. And it's not good enough for you, the community, you, the taxpayers. You are paying a bill. You're paying for somebody to go up there and to speak for you, be a mouthpiece or a voice for you. And this is so very important in this country. And that's why I always try to help those that are helping others. I'll never stop. I will continue doing that. As most of you are listening right now, the same information will be going out and it'll be repeated on. And I hope that all of you will share as much of this information as possible. So tell me something. When you were growing up, you went to Linden or what school?
I grew up here in Ferndale.
Oh, Ferndale. Okay. So during your high school years, what were you looking to be?
Not a state senator.
That's what I was going to get it to. What? And this I bring this up because we got a lot of young people that will be listening to this program. And you go through high school, you graduate from it, and then you think, what do I want to be? I want to be a doctor or a nurse. Then you think about it's expensive to apply for a dentist or a nurse and whatever. What can I be? So the funding process is another thing to consider for the young people graduating. And I know that eventually they will be able to get some money for schooling to develop individuals as we have here. People that will be strong and obedient in a way that's pleasing the community. And I believe that's part of the nature that along the way that I think you grasped, you took on to yourself, to help others that way too.
Well, and I think, like you say, it's about hard work. I didn't know that I was going to do this, but I've always believed that you should dream big.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let anybody hold you back from having big dreams. And if somebody tells you that you can't do something, work to try to prove them wrong, to show them that you can, and be respectful. Work hard, listen well, study in school, but don't let people doubt you. For me, it's been people have doubted me before because of my age. And my job has been to try to prove them wrong, to show that young people can make a difference, that we do have a voice. And so if you're a young person out there with big dreams, I would just say keep dreaming, and don't let the doubters tell you, or the skeptics, don't let them make you sit down and give up.
Y para ustedes que están escuchando, para ustedes jóvenes que están en la escuela, en la high school, es muy importante, como él no pensaba que iba a correr o a estar, ser un senador de Washington. Él comenzó, actually your mom has something to do that too, didn't you? To enter the race or whatever. Muchas veces los consejos de las madres, los padres es muy importante. Él no pensaba en ser un senador del estado de Washington. Cualquier persona que está interesado en gobierno o de ayudar nuestra gente, nuestra comunidad, ustedes se quieren estar en Olimpia ayudando a nuestro amigo, todo lo que tienen que hacer ustedes es llamar, preguntar, se necesita ayuda. Did you understand what I said? The help.
I picked up
Okay.
especially towards the end, helping government.
Some of the senators or individuals that are in Olympia, they have young people, high school people, who are eligible, I believe,
To intern or page or help,
to come and help and so forth, different individuals in Olympia. And I think you said they pay him a little bit, another for.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what the rules are.
Okay. I know. I know they have gone up there. I've seen them and so forth, and they are learning.
Mm-hmm.
That's one way that they can learn the process, and also meet different people. And that is very important, to be able to. I want to say rub against each other, whatever it may be, but they're learning. They're learning the process, and not everything is as simple as it is. But if that is your calling, I would ask it, be involved. Para ustedes que están escuchando, si usted piensan que les gustaría estar en Olimpia ayudando a los senadores allí en Olimpia, deben aplicar para entrar en ese programa, porque pienso que yo que en las de 11, 12 de la escuela que están en esos grados pueden ir a ser parte de ese trabajo. And I'm hoping that there'll be more people involved, more young people, because it'll open their eyes and their minds to. It's not as easy as they think, because passing the laws and deciding and everything else, it's
tricky. It's complicated.
It is.
But it's also interesting.
Mm-hmm. It is. That's correct. So, being up in Olympia, you have a few people that you're kind of leaning on or that are helping you out somewhat.
There's a very nice Hispanic gentleman named Alex Ibarra. He's a state representative, and he's been a good friend and helped me understand some of the different issues going on in the state, and others as well.
Okay. I think I met him, or I know he knows me.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that I'm not sure how the Washington State Hispanic Commission, they're nonpartisan. They go Republican, Democrat, whatever, There are individuals there They're elected every 4 years, whatever. There are some bright people there that you can probably make
good.
contact, and they're there.
It's good advice.
And there you can walk in distance to
From the Capitol.
Commission, yeah. And so that'd be another place where you can make contacts too. A lot of times, their position is to listen.
Mm-hmm.
I was there. I listened, and I was told to do different things, especially up here when the immigration was going after the undocumented. But they came to a stop when I came involved.
Mm.
So they do listen. People do listen. So the opportunity to make the connections on Olympia, the state patrol chief, whatever, that way you have connections with him and so forth, because
That's a good idea.
they affect Washington State. And actually, they also have hired a whole bunch of young patrol people too within the last few years. And that is a connection that we also must have here locally. Who can we call? Who can we trust? Who can help us? And that's throughout the community, whoever you are. And be careful, because I've had issues. I had one issue with the state patrol when I was asked to go down to inquire about a certain area, Forks, and that avalanche, whatever. I was told by the commissioner, my chief, to go down there. And when I went there with my wife, there was a state patrolman there. And I asked the governor and the commissioner had asked me to come up and inquire of any people that might be Hispanics. He said, no, turn around, go back. You have no business here whatsoever. And I said, well, all I ask is, do you have any information? He said, you talk to the governor. So it was very cold. Well, unfortunately for that state patrolman, I went and talked to the boss, and he got fired. So if you are, for all you listeners, if you are if you have a state patrolman or a policeman giving you a bad time, take their badge number or their name or the plate of the vehicle, make a note. You make a difference. He's going to make a difference. He will be a voice for you. But the things that you do by preventing that an abuse from the police department toward you can be corrected. And it's very important because there's a lot of young people growing up in this environment. It's a good place to live, but we have to be able to put things in place so we don't have any negative things coming out of it. Okay. I know you have so much time, so you let me know when we can.
No, you're good. I got about 3 minutes left, and then I have to run.
Okay. Well, go ahead and say you're basically. My wife was going to say that in Spanish, but another day I'm going to have her read it in Espanol.
Great.
So we have a little pamphlet here. My wife has a show every Saturday, and she will read it to you in Espanol. That way, you'll know a little bit about his background.
Yep.
So anyway, it was a pleasure to have you on board. But go ahead and end your little thing, and that way everybody will be happy.
Sure.
And make sure, my friends, that you share this video. And if you have any questions, you know where I am at, and also the email that Simon put forward. You can also.
Let me. I'll put my email in here one more time.
Okay. That way you'll have his email to connect. If you want to help or support him, same thing. Email him, and we can go from that point on. Okay?
Yeah. Well, thank you again for having me. I want to be a voice for the future. I want to listen. I want to be an empathetic and energetic, new, fresh voice in Olympia, which I think we desperately need. And so if there's any way that I can help you, if you have any questions about me, if you'd like to learn more about me, I would love to chat with you so that we can come together, be a voice for the voiceless, and protect Whatcom County.
Do you have where your next meeting is going to be, where you'll be available?
I'm going to be in Linden actually tonight for a meet and greet. But if you email that or check me out on Facebook, then that's where I post all that information.
Very good, very good.
So, yep.
Okay.
Well, good.
Well, fue un placer de tener a Simon aquí para ustedes también, como siempre. Fíjese usted la email que tienen, ahí pueden ustedes ir a las juntas en que él va a estar. 22 años y está en Olimpia para servir a ustedes. Por eso ya lo han conocido, sabe un poquito de español y está para ayudar nuestra gente. And thank you very much, and we will see you. Goodbye. Okay, we're good.